Jenna's and is talking to herself. Cringy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I did their homework.
You did that? Wait,
Yeah.
what?
I left high school with a weird identity complex, and then I wanted to restart everything.
At the beginning of the year, if I heard that this was all happening, I would be like, what? Okay. Oh, what'd you think of the last podcast episode?
I thought it was good. I think it looked good.
Me
There
too.
was a few, I think, mis-edits, but
No, like in terms of alignment of camera.
no, like I think you put, it was when you did yours full screen and was talking, and then sometimes I think you would forget my audio somehow, or I don't know if it was my audio that just got cut, but you were just like, yeah, yeah, and you don't hear me at all. And it's like it was like two. I mean, I think I have 10 minutes left in it,
Okay,
but I
I know.
only found 2 instances.
Okay, I know how to do that now. Okay, that's a good thing that you said that because I think what happened was, okay, so I edit them on top of each other, right?
Yeah.
Every time it cuts to your full screen, it's fine because you can't see mine because it's under yours, right? When I cut to my full screen, your
You
screen
hide my
is still there. So what do? I disable it. So it
Yeah.
just shows this.
Exactly. No, you saying that makes perfect sense. That's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like you
No,
did.
I like
It's fine.
figured 'cause
It's
I just,
it's like 2 instances where you
that's
did it.
super funny because I think I just figured like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. But
Okay, cool. Good to know. I'll be more vigilant about that.
yeah. Well, I think this is a funny cold open, so let's just jump into it. Guys, welcome back to the Fire and Rice podcast, episode 5.
Woo!
I am Jack, joined with Jenna as always.
Yes.
We were just chopping it up about last episode, so if you guys do go back and watch it, it's not that bad, really. Like I said, there's only just a couple of editing hiccups here and there, but
Mistakes.
it's fine. You'll get the idea. It's not like you missed anything from me. It just may sound like Jenna's and is talking to herself.
My goodness.
I mean, it is what it is. So let's jump into it. Episode 5. I think it's been a while since we recorded, and there's definitely a lot to catch up on. We had recorded right before the 4th of July holiday.
Yes.
And you guys came out here to Arizona to
Yeah.
visit my house for that holiday extravaganza. So how was that for you guys?
That was great. That was the best vacation we've ever been on. That's what Dad says. And I'll second that. It was pretty fun. Like, you don't have to do anything crazy to have a good time. We didn't go out because it's 112 degrees in Arizona during the summertime. We just stayed in and we played games, and Jack cooked us food, and it was great, you know? Can't go wrong with family time. So it was quite an adventure.
Yeah, it was interesting because I was telling the people at my work, like, oh, yeah, my family's coming over. They haven't seen the house, but they're going to come visit. And they're all like, they're crazy. It's like the hottest week in Arizona. Like, why are they coming? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a last minute thing that you guys decided to show up, but it was good. I mean, it was fun. Yeah, it's still hot, so definitely don't be here during the months of like July and August. But anytime after that, it's pretty comfortable. I mean, even like June, when it's even in the 90s, it's fine. So, yeah, no, it was a good time though. I agree.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Oh, I was gonna say, what did Dad officially say about the food? Because it felt as though at some times he would just say it's good. I mean, this is at least historically, he'll say things are good, and then come back later and secretly say like, I didn't actually like it.
Yeah. You mean
but-
in terms of your cooking?
The cooking or the Korean food, or because I know that for me personally, I didn't think that my burgers were up to par because I didn't really practice that much recently compared to like when I was making like burgers a lot more. So I had like a
Right.
really good nailed down recipe. Also, I don't normally cook in bulk. So I could tell that when I ate it, I was like, it's not as good as it normally can be. But
I mean,
I
I
won't
feel
be
like
offended. I actually do want to know.
I feel like dad likes what he likes out here in terms of Korean food. So he didn't say anything about it, but if I had to guess, he probably thought that the Korean food was like okay. And then in terms of your cooking, I think he liked it. I think he enjoyed it. So I don't think there was any complaints.
Cool, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I asked for my fries well done.
Yes.
And I got the bulk French fries. So
Yeah, they were not well done.
mhm.
The air fryer I don't think can handle a full bag of French fries. I think you're supposed to cook them in batches, but
Got it. Okay.
that's a learning lesson. So next
That's
time.
okay. Nice, nice. But we also had strawberry milkshakes or just other milkshakes with our burgers, and those were really good.
I was surprised because that was a very last minute thing that I wasn't even planning to like put together, but it worked out. And yeah, I actually got to taste a little bit of it, and it was good. They were
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Haagen-Dazs is currently our favorite ice cream brand because it's
Yeah.
got the least amount of ingredients and they seem pretty good quality. And every time we're done with the tub, Dad goes and gets more.
Well, yeah, that sounds about right. Um,
hmm
that is one of the funny things about our family personality is like once there's one thing that's like super good, it
hmm
becomes the thing for
Yeah, it becomes the thing for months,
yeah,
months
and
on end until
until you
it's
hate it.
no more.
Yeah, yeah,
So you're like, man, I'm getting sick of it.
right. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's an actual name for that kind of a trait, though. You know?
Yeah, I don't know because it's not like it's not really like
Like
it's
an
like
addiction.
yeah, it's not like an addiction thing.
Yeah.
It's just more, and it's weird because it's like it feels like it's where we just have a like a trend or something. That's what it kind of you could relate it to is like
I guess, yeah.
it's oh this is the trendy thing in the family right now is eating this or going to this place or whatever. But I don't know. It's not like it's an obsessive thing either. It's just
You
I
know what? That's such a good point because it's like for us, when we like something, we really like it. So, okay, this is just me as an individual. Skylar, my boyfriend, introduced me to frozen grapes,
hmm
and that has been my personal obsession.
right.
I've just been getting grapes, freezing them, and then eating the whole thing, and then I have to go and get more.
Yeah.
And I'm still very much in that phase right now. I know I'm going to grow out of it, but like it's a thing that goes days on ends into weeks.
Yeah, yeah. I guess my main thing right now that I've been doing is like the protein ice cream stuff where it's just
Oh,
like a
yeah,
frozen
yeah, yeah.
banana and a like a pre-made mixed protein shake and then whatever other fillings I want. But I pretty much
Mm.
have one every day. I have protein ice cream every day just cuz it's good enough for me to at least kick the craving of real
Yeah.
ice cream, so I'll take it.
Maybe maybe that's what it is. It's like we have this itch every day or like this need that we have to fill, and once we find that thing, then we're like, cool, this fills the need because I think frozen grapes for me are the thing for ice
Yeah.
cream. It's
Sure.
like, oh, it tastes like a frozen dessert and it's good. So once I have it, then I think, oh, cool, I've filled my need. And in my head, because I'm thinking, oh, these are grapes and they're fruit and it's healthy, it's
Yeah.
even better
Well, I can understand that, but then I'm thinking about like
in the Haagen Dazs
the
sense.
Haagen-Dazs sense, or dad and his like fried chicken, or
Oh,
like
or dad and
his
his
random
Frito
like
chips.
yeah, it'll just go from fad to fad of like Jollibee fried chicken, or like before I don't remember what it was, but I remember there was a time where it was just like only eating Panda Express or only eating like whatever, and then all of a sudden it just cuts to a new thing, and I don't know how that like just switches so quickly because sometimes I can understand like oh yeah I'm just sick of it or like oh there was one bad experience that kills it and then it goes to the next thing.
Check it. Okay.
Okay.
So we love Gami sushi, correct?
Oh yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
We can't eat at Gami anymore.
What happened?
Okay, the last time we went, we sat down in person. We were eating our
Yeah.
food, and then towards the end of our meal, we started to notice these like little gnats on the table, right?
Oh.
They were actually queen ants looking to colonize, and there were a bunch of them. Just like not like a trail of ants or anything, just you would see like 3 on our table, and then you'd see 3 on the other table, and then like it got stuck in the wasabi, and I was like, I don't want to eat the wasabi, and then it was like, okay, let's just eat our food and try to get out. We're like eating our food, and it's just like Jared and mom and dad were like, I feel like there's stuff crawling on me. So ever since then, we're like, we can't have gummy.
Oh no.
These are the types of ants that have wings.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
you can tell like they're not flies because they don't look like flies.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if that's just like an inspection that they need to have, but
I mean, it's never happened before. I think it's because the door was open.
the door's always open, I think. Yeah. Most
So
of the
they just
time,
got
at
hit
least.
by a swarm.
Maybe, but
But that would be an example of fad and then ruined.
yeah. Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. But it's interesting because I mean, it's not like it's like things happen to people all the time, but they still go back, unless it's like been that bad of an experience to where it's like traumatizing. But people like there's flies in people's hair and people's food, whatever, and it's like people still go back. But it's funny because I don't know if it's that we will do or go to these places like almost daily. It feels like when it's in like true fad for us, it's
Yeah.
we're going, let's go again. We're going again today. We're going again tomorrow.
Right,
And then
right.
like, but then it's so like hard and like quick. Like we're in there. We're going in every day into one small thing that can like derail it. We'll just blow it up completely. But I don't know. I really don't know what it is. It's just so funny that maybe other people are like that too. I mean, I guess if
Yeah.
you feel that
Let
way,
us
definitely let
know.
us know. 'Cause-
If we're not alone,
I feel like it's a us
strange.
problem. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, hanging out with other people, I feel like it's not really a thing that I notice.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't. But
What I think it is we convince ourselves, oh, this is a good deal. Like for good value or good something, If it wasn't a good value that we felt that we were getting, we wouldn't go back. So in some way, in some another, we're thinking we have to go back because it's either good food and we're okay with the price, or there's some sort of deal I think that we make in our head of this is why we have to keep going back.
right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it too. I'm trying to think of stuff that we go and do that's relatively expensive, but I guess maybe it is a value thing. I don't know. The other thing is that we just, as soon as we find even something remotely decent, it's labeled as the best also. So it's not
It
just
is
like
the best.
it could be like pretty mediocre or
Yeah.
like above just an inch above average, and it's the best.
The
So.
best. And we have to tell everybody about it, and we have to take them all there, and it becomes a whole thing.
Yeah, but then the expectation is so high, and then it sometimes falters.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Okay, wait. We've got a lot to talk about. But quick question. Did you see the Little Mermaid movie?
Not yet.
Are you going to?
Maybe when it comes out on streaming.
Gotcha.
But I mean, tell us about it. Tell us what you want to tell.
I watched it,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. I had low expectations because I feel like with, live action remakes of beloved animated films, it's hard to reach that expectation. So I went in having very low expectations. However, I loved every single second of it. I knew the story. It's that classic Little Mermaid story. And yet I was like, oh, what's going to happen next? And hopefully hopefully they get together, and oh no, what's gonna happen? It followed the story verbatim. But I was still entertained the entire way through. And there were some tweaks here and there, but I almost liked the tweaks in the live action better than what they had in the original animated film. So I stand by the live action Little Mermaid all the way.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think that yeah, I mean, we're definitely gonna watch it. Just we're waiting for it to come out. But I think I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to see for myself because my hot take was that I like the Beauty and the Beast live action. I know everybody else didn't like it, and that's fine, but I feel like I also had super low expectations. I went into it, and I don't know. I think it was maybe a combination of like, I don't know. I think it was just the experience of it all. Because I don't remember when that came out, but I feel like it was just like a date night that Michelle and I had. So I think it was just a good date night, and it maybe that's why I
It was
attribute
the
it to
experience.
right. But I felt the same way because I remember being like, you know what, this isn't that bad. The music is great, even though people say that it's all auto tune, and it's true, but everything's auto tune nowadays. So it's like, but I think it comes down to low expectations and a good overall experience. I don't remember really exactly
Right.
what we did, but I remember at least leaving that and being like, this is good. This is good. And it's to the point where like, um, it, I man, I don't remember. I have to go back and find the exact like time frame that the movie came out when we watched it. But all I know is that led to in my phone there's like a rose emoji next to Michelle's name. So
Mm.
like yeah,
Got it. Got it. You know what? That makes sense. Movie and good experience, good memories creates the way that you feel towards the movie. I understand that because now that you say that, the day I watched Little Mermaid, literally 10 minutes before, I was with my friends. We were playing Monopoly, board games, video games. We go to watch the movie, and I'm like, oh, I just got into Penn State. It was right before the movie. Sky was trying to call me during the movie to congratulate me, but I said I can't. I'm watching Little Mermaid right now. So, yeah, that's very interesting that you say that.
yeah. I mean it very well I'm sure is a good movie. Like I don't
Mhm.
doubt that because I that's what I've heard as well from a lot of people and stuff like that. So I'm sure it is probably one of the better live actions or the best live action, whatever.
Mhm.
But I think it does have something to do with like what the experience and everything surrounding the event of watching the movie means to you, and that can
Yeah.
definitely sway your opinion on anything, really. Just a
Right.
good meal, a bad meal, good event, bad event, whatever. So
True, true, true. Yeah. That's a good point. That's super funny. Cuz yeah, what if I was just in a good mindset?
yeah, you could have been in a good mood just somehow that day, and it becomes like a really good movie to you. That happens. It happens all the time. I mean, I can think of movies that I don't like because of negative experiences surrounding
Yeah.
the time frame of the movie or the song or whatever. I think it's just like just a normal psychology thing.
Right. That's why I was surprised when Jared said after he watched Indiana Jones that it was still a good movie after his poor experience watching it. I think that if
Uh,
he didn't have the poor experience, maybe it would have been a great movie, but it was just a good movie because Jared was sitting next to a kid who was
right.
disrupting the movie the whole
Yes.
time.
Right. That's right.
Things like
That's right.
that make you really not enjoy a movie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's it. That's probably all there is to it. Um, well, you brushed over the Penn State thing. Um,
Yes.
so tell us more about school
Right,
and the
right.
way it's going to work, the logistics of it all.
So, I
Wow. Subtle.
I am going to Penn State University. However, I will not be attending in Pennsylvania. How, you ask? I am doing their Penn State World Campus program, which means I'm doing my whole degree curriculum online. And basically, it's the exact same amount of work. It doesn't make it any easier. It's just all online. If anything, I think it's going to be harder because I'm not going to be in that university environment. I'm not going to be with people. It's not going to be a social way of learning. I'm not going to meet my teachers in person. It's all asynchronous, so I'm in charge of my schedule and getting on to my classes and learning myself. I was homeschooled when I was in high school. I think that I'm going to get a better hold of this now that I am more of an adult because I know that this is a big deal. And when you're a kid and you're going through high school and schooling in general, you kind of just feel like, "Oh, I just have to get through it." Right? Whereas when you actually consciously make the choice to go to school for yourself and for your future, you put that weight on yourself and that pressure to really take it seriously and to get it done. So I think I'm going to do well this time around. And I'm also working a lot on top of it. So I just want to get a good flow, good workflow, all for the sake of my future. And that is why I decided to go. It was a very off the whim kind of decision. Not decision, but in terms of at the beginning of the year, if I heard that this was all happening, I would be like, what? I didn't
Yeah.
think that was going to happen. And so that's what I mean by that. But I definitely thought a lot about this decision. And so, yeah, this is what's happening.
Yeah. No, I think it is very interesting because, like you said, the homeschooling thing is just funny because I thought to myself, okay, well, you're doing online class, and online class is pretty. It can be tough because of everything you just said, but also like the idea of having to schedule stuff around your own time, and doing it on your own time, and just like being held accountable, like to just get it all done.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously every online class is different, but I'm just gonna make the assumption that it's like, okay, you have to log in and get through all these lectures, and like once it completes, it counts as like a checkbox, and like, okay, you did
Yeah.
that lecture, cool, next
Yeah.
one done. And then there's maybe an assignment, do it on your own time, but turn it in before the end of the whatever semester,
Exactly.
quarter, whatever it's gonna be. But as long as it's all in and done well, or whatever they're grading, then you pass the class, and that's good. But all that being said, it's very, very easy to put it off to the last second, or depending on if the class allows for that, right? Like if it's some
Right.
classes I've heard of are like, here is everything, and you have to get it done by August, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
like here's the date, here's 100 items, whatever your pace is, get it done by then. Some
Yeah.
classes I've heard are also like, okay, you have to kind of keep up in a normal cadence.
Like week to
Um,
week.
like, yep. So it really will depend, but I think that's really cool. I think it's a good. I mean, I've always kind of wondered what your future was gonna be, because you went the like less traditional route. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. You do whatever you want to do. Um, what are you majoring in?
I am majoring in strategic communications.
Okay, very good. That's cool. Um, and I guess what besides well, no, because I guess you didn't answer this, but like, what was the? You said it was just kind of like on not on a whim, but like there was some thought put into the decision. But like, what made you say like, I'm going to school?
Honestly, I had a lot of free time on my hands this
Hmm?
past year, and I realized that it just kind of felt like summer vacation all the time while I was waiting for acting jobs or dance jobs in between. And that's cool and that's great and everything. Um, but I kind of want to get my life going in the next couple years. I don't want to just keep waiting and just tell myself, oh, by this time next year, I'm gonna be on a series regular. I'll be a series regular on an ongoing TV show that goes on for 10 seasons, and I'll be good and I'll be set because those things are very unpredictable. And I think really what it was hearing about the writer's strike and then knowing that the at the time I heard that the director's strike was going to happen and then the actor's strike, but the director's strike, they came to an agreement, and now we're dealing with both the writers and the actors strike. And it just made me realize, oh shoot, when we go through times like this, what do I do? What am I going to do? And that was a bit of a scary thought. And I just wanted to have a bunch of backup plans. And it's not because growing up, I used to think to myself, I don't want to even, this is such a bad mindset to have,
Mm.
but it is what it is. I used to kind of think to myself, well, I know what I'm going to do in life. I know that it's going to be doing acting and dancing. So I don't need a backup plan because I believe in myself so much that I'm going to make it work. And it's not that I don't believe in myself that I can do it now. It's just that life is so unpredictable. You didn't know that COVID was going to happen. You didn't know that these
That's
strikes are
true.
going to happen. You never know what's going to
true.
happen. And so it's always important to have some sort of backup plan no matter what, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Other
sure.
people do what you want to do, but I just had that epiphany for my own self and my own journey, and I was like, you know what? It doesn't hurt to have a bunch of different things to just have in my back pocket, you know? So that's also why I started teaching classes as well, was I wanted to get back into the dance scene, and I felt that taking classes and going back to how I was pre-pandemic didn't feel right to me. So I wanted to see what I could do for the dance community and still be involved in a different way. So then I decided to start teaching, and it's been a really great journey with that. And yeah, so now I'm teaching, and I'm going to go to school starting in the fall. And then once things open up again, I'll be able to do acting work whenever need be, as well as dancing work.
That's awesome. I think that's really cool. That's
Thanks.
yeah, no, that is that I think um and I mean this in the most like genuine way possible. I think that's a very responsible, like the most responsible way to approach it all, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's it all just makes sense because you get to
Yeah.
still do what you want to do in teaching, and we'll talk about that too in a little bit, just because I have some questions about it, but like you get to still be involved in dance, which is kind of where you started.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, like, actually I feel like that is kind of where you got started in the overall journey, is through dancing.
Yeah.
So you get to be involved there, and then get to learn and expand your, horizons into other opportunities. And who knows, like, yeah, of course you can act whenever and if an opportunity comes up, but then you also have like maybe another job opportunity that is, I don't know, stable, I guess.
Exactly. And yeah, you're hitting it right on the nail, because I used to think, okay, well, no, this is just the nature of my life. It's just
A
instability.
waiting game.
It's a waiting game, and there's lots of great rewards that come out of it, but you're banking on that you will get there. And it's very unpredictable and very not stable. So I think having some stability to also help me pursue what I ultimately want to do is what I want to do.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's where that thinking came from.
it makes sense. It's it's hard because in order to be stable in the entertainment industry, you have to have the breakout first. But
Mm-hmm.
until you get the breakout, it's very unstable. And even
Oh yeah.
after the breakout, it can still be unstable. But you just look at a lot of the like the celebrities that you think about and look at
Mm-hmm.
their history. It was until you could even look, let's try to think of an example. I mean, I'm thinking Pedro Pascal is obviously the big one right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he was acting. I don't know his history, but we can look it up and correct me if I'm wrong or whatever. I don't care. But I'm just thinking, I saw him in Game of Thrones. I didn't see him for a while, but I remember he had a very big moment in Game of Thrones, and then all of a sudden, slowly but surely, he's in these other shows and he's getting noticed more and more. And then all of a sudden, now he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
right?
And you think it's
So
like an overnight thing where it's like they get this, but it's been years and years.
hmm
Years of work.
so
And I don't how old is Pedro Pascal?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the most current popular person that's in everything right now or getting cast in everything right now. So
Right.
for you know, I don't know. Either way, um, no, I think it's cool. I think it's really cool, um, and I feel like it makes sense with the uh, degree or major that you kind of chose. It sounds like it'll make sense in terms of like being able to use it in other aspects to still tie into like, from my perspective, communications can lead to marketing and marketing can lead to like a social media manager at a company or something like that, or
Yes,
whatever, which you
sir.
already have the experience in, so it ties together. I don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, yeah. You 1000% correct. That is where my thinking is heading. That is where my plans are. Someone else said to me, "Hey, you could also be a news anchor from that. Have you ever thought about that? I think you'd make a really good news anchor." I was like, "Sure.
Yeah,
Sure. That's another avenue, a possibility."
that's funny.
But yeah. Yeah. It's just
For a
it's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, that's funny because for a while, when I was trying to figure out what to do, I was
You were
torn between
considering it. Didn't you commit
journalism.
to journalism?
No, I think I had put down that I was between journalism or engineering, and I just didn't really know, and I kind of flipped a coin, and I chose computer science. But for a while, I was definitely 50-50 between both. And
I do remember that. Yeah.
yeah, because I don't know if, I mean, I think I wanted to be like a news anchor, kind of, but then I was also just like, I don't know. And then, um, yeah. So I actually did flip a coin between
And it came
journalism
out
or
as
engineering.
engineering.
hmm Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. And you went to school in Colorado
hmm
for 4 years?
hmm
Got it, got it. How was that experience overall? Do you regret it? Do you think it's helped you towards your job now?
Um, well, did the overall school help me towards my job? Academically, no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I take it back. Academically, I didn't do as well as I think I could have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I could have definitely tried harder, but I think going through like the idea of school, of college, and like the networking thing, like some of the, I think I met some very important people in my last year of school. Without those people, I don't think I'd be where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
um they really changed my outlook on like trying to
Mm-hmm.
get a job and stuff, and like doing well at the very end of school, and trying to like raise my grades and like focus in class, and like, because I mean, I kind of have a similar kind of story as like dad, where it's just like I wasn't in the red zone of failing out, but I
Yeah.
was definitely just not paying attention, not going to class, and messing around and playing video
Right.
games. And I mean, it was until I met those people that they were like, you can still go to class and hang out and have fun afterwards with us, but you have to get it done. And it's super important because like you need to figure this stuff out. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I really think that I wouldn't be where I am unless I had met them, and they really also kind of, I don't know. There was like this time where coming out of high school, I felt very, um, although I was like, okay, so I feel like my personality, not personality, but like my status, like the where I was in the grand scheme of like the high school musical status quo groups, you know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Like I felt that um I was known by many but not popular.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Whether
I feel
that
like
meant
that
that it was
that
a
happens
good
to
thing
us.
or a bad thing.
Yeah.
you're either cool in the group that you're a part of or you're cringe in the grand scheme of everyone else.
Mhm.
And I think I fit into that. Where
Mhm.
like the popular kids knew me, but maybe it was only because I did their homework for them and I was
Wait,
cringy.
what?
Yeah, I did their homework for
You did
them.
that? Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, because the thing is in high school, people, I have to take AP classes. I have to do this. I have to be in like the top tier. I was lazy. I realized I'm taking AP classes and not taking the test. So why should I do it? I'm gonna go down to a regular, like normal class, so that I can just coast. And that's with all the people that want to coast. But I'm smart, and I'm inflating my own ego here, but like I don't care. I'm shooting it how it is.
Yeah.
I was smart, but I was lazy. So
Wow.
I put myself in a regular level class instead of AP class. But then that's with people that either were doing the same thing I was or weren't as smart. No
Yeah.
offense. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I would just do I mean, I don't know. I would just do their homework.
Wait. But okay. You were smart enough to do their own homework. Did you have to sacrifice your own grades
No.
to help them though? Okay, so you still were able to get your stuff done and then
Yeah.
have time to do other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
And
crazy.
and the reason why I wanted to be liked by the popular people. But do they still think I'm probably
Wow.
cringe to this day? Yeah, probably. Do I think I'm way different than I
Hmm.
was then? Absolutely.
Interesting.
I
I
was
have
I
so
was a
many
varsity.
questions.
We can talk about it as long as we want, or we can do
I
it in
have so
multiple
many
episodes. But
questions.
it's crazy because, like I said, then I go into like I was like running on varsity track on my second year or whatever. So like I'm technically an athlete, but I'm not a jock. I'm going home and playing Call of Duty till like 2 in the morning and like barely doing my schoolwork or whatever. Like just getting by enough and then being nerdy and then doing track practice. So like people know who I am, but they don't think that I'm cool because I'm not doing the cool people stuff. I'm going home and playing video games.
I
But
mean,
but he's a varsity
honestly,
level athlete.
I think nowadays that would be considered the same
Nowadays
for
it would be
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
Standard for
nowadays it
cool
would
and
be okay.
popular. Yeah.
Yes, but
Which is
back
interesting that you
then,
say. But back then, in the High
it
School Musical times.
especially yeah, I mean that literally was High School Musical time. It wasn't cool, but all that to say, I left high school with a weird identity complex, and then I wanted to restart everything. I still somehow kind of fell into the same identity in college, but by the very end, I realized like I need to actually just focus on me and career moving forward because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I met those people, ended up focusing up, getting my job, and I mean, now I'm here. So,
Got it. Got it. Well, good for you. I definitely it sounds like though that you had that epiphany of, "Oh, you can't just be in college just to be in college." And that seems
right.
to be the theme across Dad's college story, my college story, your college story. I mean, I don't know how Jared felt about it, but I think that's part of the reason why now at 20, almost 21 years old, I'll be 21 when I officially start. That's why I'm starting now as opposed to at 18 because I just didn't have the drive to do college. I just thought I don't need it and I don't want to do it. Um, but now I'm at a point where things change, you know? Your
Totally.
thoughts of what you think you want change, and you never know what you're going to want and need in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And so, yeah, that's where I feel, oh, it was really on a whim kind of a thing of it wasn't just a random decision, but it was oh, my thoughts and the things that I want for my future have changed. And that is why
Sure.
I've wanted to do college.
That's great. I also just going back to the point of like, oh, you're not starting at a normal time. I don't think there's nothing, I just don't
Oh,
think it matters.
yes. Because, yeah, Michelle.
Yeah, that too, but I think just right I don't know. I think it really does not matter, especially now, given how times have changed.
Yes.
Um,
Well, with
just
life being delayed completely on all areas with COVID and
that, and I
everything.
feel like it's just some people would not be like, especially the generation now. I don't know if some of them
They'll
are
be ready
ready
at 18
to
to
be in
just go
college.
in.
It's
Yeah,
because yeah, actually, you know what? It is probably because of the life delay that happened for everybody. Like everybody basically
absolutely.
aged a couple of years, but maybe not mentally.
That's okay to say.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. I was 18 during the pandemic. So I was 18, 19, and then 20 like last year to this year. So, yeah, I feel as though socially we were stunted. I
Mm-hmm.
think mentally you're stunted because the whole world stops and it stops being conventional. And I do think that when you're 18 you feel like an adult. Not really.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
really felt like an adult until now, and I still feel like the beginning of an adult.
Yeah. I think it's very cliche that, but it's true that, once you hit that point, most people will feel like, yeah, I'm an adult. I'm unstoppable. I know what I'm doing. Like, but even now at 28, I feel
Hmm.
like I'm still just becoming an adult too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah, I can see that. So if you're just becoming an adult, then I am still being born.
well, I mean, I think it's stages. There's different things and different steps in life that you have to just figure out and cross when you get there. There's a lot of stuff that like you're not taught. And it's like once you can kind of figure that out, that's one more level towards your adultness, you know?
Yeah.
So
Well, what's crazy is do you still feel very young or do you feel old?
that is a question that I find myself joking a lot about actually day to day because I feel young in what I'm kind of in the fact that like I try to stay somewhat in tune and somewhat involved in like what the young kids are doing, the different social medias. I still play my video games. I still keep up in the YouTube culture and like all of that. And so like I'm in the know of like the trends that young kids follow, but then I'm also working in corporate America with people that are in their late 30s to like 60 years old about to retire. And so I'm the youngest in that group. So then I feel young again, right? And
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
it's funny because we have, and this has been throughout my career, I've helped interns, I've helped new college graduates, and it reminds me of like I think to myself like, "Oh, I graduated like last year." But no, I've been out of school for going on oh no, it's been 7 years. I've been out of college
Hmm.
for 7 years, but yet I still feel like it was last year that I started working. And so like I try to be like, yeah, like I'm still the new kid, I'm still the new hire like on the block or whatever. Like I remember when I was in your shoes, yeah, like but I think about it now and I'm they're 21, 22-year-old kids coming out of college and I'm 20 turning 29. I'm closer to 30 than I am to 20.
Whoa.
I'm
Whoa.
closer to 30 than I am to 20, which is
Wow.
always like a funny thing. But then again, I go in and people are like, "Oh yeah, got to retire in the next 10 years." I'm like, "Dude, I've got a long way to go."
Got a long way to go. You're just starting.
Yeah. So, it's a mix.
Wow.
It's a mix. I feel both young and old at the same time, depending on who I'm talking
Yeah.
to.
Gotcha. Cool, cool. Good to know. Good to know. Yes. More questions to follow regarding your high school life and your college life. Cause Jared and I think, have so many questions uh for off screen and on screen.
Sure.
I think I just had the realization that, you know, you have had your own fully lived life.
What?
Because in my head, it's like, you're my older brother. You go to school. And when you go to school and you leave the house, your life is just like you know how
Like
it's that
frozen in time?
yeah, frozen in time. And then once it's 2:30 or whatever, then you come back and you're like, oh, I had a day at school, right? I don't realize that you like went to classes and you like interact with people and you're building your own relationships there, and you go up to college, right? And like you are actually living your life. You don't just like exit scene and come back in season 2 of this TV show.
Well, I can understand that because to you guys, it's like, oh, he's gone, but then he just comes back and he's almost basically the same, but something's a little different. But like
Yeah, that's
overall, he's still the same.
yeah. Well, we like the first time that you started leaving was, I think I was 9 years old or 10 years old. Is when you graduated and started going to college and coming back. So in my head, it's like Jack just leaves and comes back. I don't really think about what you do in the in between. And just now I'm like, oh, I have so many questions to ask Jack about his life.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I don't really think of it. Yeah, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. And
Do you feel that way about me and Jared?
that you guys are just like living? Wait.
Like when you're like when you barely like see us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your life is going on, do you just think like, oh, they have their own lives going on, and then but
Well,
you know what I mean? Do you
yeah.
not think too much about it? Because I don't think too much about what's going on in your day to day, if that makes sense.
Sure. Well, no, I don't think anybody thinks in that
Of anyone.
of anyone in their day-to-day life. But I think of like if I'm talking about you guys or something and I'm trying to think of what you could be doing. I think I knew more about what Jared would have been up to because he went through the same path, but for you, I don't know. And I couldn't be like, oh, I'm sure Jenna's up to this right now. Or like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like at least for Jared, be like, oh, he's in his 3rd year. He's probably doing this. He's probably taking these classes. He's probably talking to these types of people. He's going out to these types of places. But for you, it was like, I have no clue. I have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah. Because I'm just doing something random every day. So.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, good to know. Good to know. Shall we spend the last 12 minutes talking about a board game that we've been playing? Or do you have anything else to add?
Of course. No, I kind of figured we'd jump into this at some point. Yeah, no.
Okay,
Tell the world about it.
Okay. So, our family's recent obsession.
Yes,
I think it could be,
it's all full circle.
I think it's classified as an obsession.
Yeah.
Short-term obsession. It's not like it's a long-term ongoing thing because it has an expiration date of when we stop obsessing over something.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it just takes one bad experience or we've overused it. So currently our family's obsession is the board game Catan.
Yeah. And I like,
the Settlers of Catan. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those very, very well-known games. So, I don't feel like we have to go into explaining exactly what it is, but it is definitely something that I introduced to the family because of college. I played it in college.
It's a very college game.
Yeah, it's just a game that you play with roommates kind of thing. It's really easy to teach, and there's a lot of different ways to play, so everybody has their own style and they kind of pick up what kind of flavor of gameplay that they want out of it. But it's a really easy roommate board game because it takes maybe 30 minutes to explain, set up, and then once you're in it, you figure it out. So I remember I played it in college with my roommates. They were the ones that taught me. Then I took it home to you guys, and then probably during one of my like winter breaks or summer breaks or something, said, hey, you know what, let's just go buy it. And we played it and you guys liked it. And then obviously there was the Star Trek version, and that makes it really easy for dad to get into because it's
Mhm.
Star Trek. So yeah, we were playing that, and then we kind of just stopped playing. But then we I was like, you know what? They're coming for 4th of July. Let's get board games. Let's get video games ready. So I was like, you know what? I personally don't have Catan at my house yet because we just moved and stuff. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it just because it's a nice kind of thing to have, right? It's just
Mhm.
a nice thing to fall back on.
It's a good 3 to 6 player game to have with bigger parties.
Yeah. So we played it, and I think we wanted to keep playing it, but we obviously realized, ah, man, we're not going to be in the same place anymore. So
Mhm.
we looked and found out that it's online, and
Yup.
we have been playing it online. So it's cool. It's fun. I mean, there's some technical difficulties with it, but when it works, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah. It does the job, and we've been getting really into, I mean, it started with playing Mario Party on FaceTime. We started to realize,
Yes.
oh, there's ways to hang out online and digitally as opposed to just going long periods of time without hanging out because we're in different states. I think this would have been a great thing to do during COVID times.
It is
Um,
stuff that people did for sure. Like
oh,
I
got
know
it.
of
Okay,
people
okay.
that did this type of thing that we're doing, but it
Somehow we
all
discovered it like
we discovered it late, but
really
also
late.
remember that we lived together during that, so we
Oh,
didn't
that's right.
have
That's
to worry
right.
about
Okay.
that.
We
And for me
did.
personally, I had my friends that I would just play other video games with. So you know, but yeah, exactly.
Right.
We came to this whole like remote video play, whatever kind of stuff,
For a
and
couple hours.
hmm and
Yeah.
some people even play board games like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever virtually without
Mm.
software. They'll have a person that will film for their crew and be like, okay, it's your turn. And then they'll roll at home. And then the guy
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
recording the thing will move the piece for them and do stuff. Like, so people are very creative in trying to stay
Yes.
connected with their friends and their family and whatnot. But yeah, we started with the Mario Party stuff. We would just be on FaceTime, play Mario Party online. And then we realized, okay, we could probably do something else. So
Mhm.
we're doing the
I think
Catan online. We have the
yeah.
Discord, and we're just on, and it's nice because I mean, this you guys can now see where my kind of like gaming realm is because this is what
Yes.
I do, but with my friends. We'll either be on camera or off camera, but like we're playing the same game, we're interacting in the same experience, and we're just chatting. We're talking, we're eating
Right.
food, we're watching stuff, whatever, and sharing funny memes in between rounds, different songs, laughing it up, and like that's what it's all about.
Mhm. Mhm. We're
So
understanding the whole gaming community experience.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. And it's very interesting how this is a thing of the digital age. People like Pokimane and Saikuno and Disguised Toast who get on the Discord and play games together and they stream it. And it is a lot of fun. So I definitely understand the appeal.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, you take that and then combine. I mean, well, that's the thing, right? It's like you take that and you take the stardom and you take the money and throw all of the and the entertainment value and throw that all in the mix, and all of a sudden they become the celebrities that they are. So,
Right,
um,
right.
like, do I think that what we do and stuff could be like internet content? Probably not, but I mean, it's like it's
You
just
know, I thought about that. I thought about that. If we just had like cameras rolling on our Discords and we were recording the Catan footage and then we just spliced it all together, would it be something? And I thought, you know what? I think anything could be
anything could be
something.
something.
I think
Yeah.
it would just be just a little bit more effort and we would have to deal with the comfortability of Dad and Jared and Michelle and everyone, right? It would be a learning curve, but it would definitely be a doable thing.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends on the people involved. I mean, I've had I mean, obviously you've had your fair share of the social media realm and stuff like that. I don't know how, uh, that also could be its entirely own episode, but I mean, I also had my own stint of like small social media streaming, and that was an interesting experience too. So, um, yeah,
Would
it
you
just
still want to do streaming?
I've thought about this a lot.
Mm.
I feel like the answer is if I did again, I would actually just fully restart.
Yeah, yeah, do it differently. Different name,
Different name,
different everything.
different
I think that
everything.
you should. I think that you should dedicate the two days a week that you're home
Mm-hmm.
to just, after you get your work done, or even every day after you get your work done, just try.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
full-time job, but I think maybe if you were to go about it as in like more of a hobby that just somehow like picks
well,
up its thing.
that's how
I
it
don't know. I don't know
started.
how it works.
That's exactly how it started. Um, it was a hobby that I did after work when I
Got
first
it.
got started with my first job. I would go home and I would stream and I would just play because it was funny to watch it back for me. But then out of nowhere, just in the nature of social media and stuff like that, you just get discovered by people.
Mhm.
And then it became like people start becoming regulars. And then when they become regulars, and then on top of that, it also just seemed to coincide with what we call the Fortnite boom. So that was when Fortnite blew up, became the biggest game, the most watched thing, and everybody and anybody wanted to get in on it because they saw the money. And because of that, people were doing it for the wrong reasons. Some people got really popular and some people just fell off. And that personality that it created for a lot of people, I think wasn't true to them, and certainly not for me. And
Mhm.
so like
Mhm.
after that phase kind of fell off, and Fortnite obviously is still really big, but not as big as it was at that time. Once the hype died down, and I kind of realized like I don't like what this did to me or the like environment of, or not the environment, but like the the industry of streaming, or like the vibe, I guess, like what it turned people into. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop and just slowly stop doing it.
Mm. I see. I see. So it's like the mix of the trends and the culture,
The
and
culture, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Yeah, the culture
yeah,
of it all. Yeah.
almost losing yourself to pursue the train, if
Mm-hmm.
you will.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And that's where it doesn't become fun anymore, and it
Doesn't be,
becomes
yeah.
something that you just have to do.
Yeah, and on top of that, like I said, it's just like you can tell when certain people changed, and you could tell that that wasn't what they were originally in it for. And so you kind of like feel this like weird ick about it, and it just doesn't feel
Got
right.
it.
And like I said, I could tell that it was something that changed about myself. So I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, trends are temporary, and how you feel about yourself is forever. Just kidding. It always changes, but you got to figure out which one you want to live with,
Hmm.
the trends or your dignity.
Yeah, no, true, exactly, for sure.
Yep, yep, yep. And the thing about relying on following trends is that people lose interest very quickly. It's a very, very quick and temporary form of validation that just goes away because people just get over it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. All right, well, good to know. Good to know. Looks like we are coming up on time. So we're going to have to end this segment here, and maybe we'll pick up on it in the next episode, or we'll talk about other things. But yeah, close it out for us.
Sure. I mean, there was way too much I feel like that we had just touched on and brushed the surface on. So if there are any topics that you heard that you want us to go more in detail on, definitely put it in the comments below. Otherwise, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and we will see you in the next episode of Fire and Rice Reheated. Peace.
Peace.